Rise of new kingdoms. In the early medieval period, there were various dynasties which were prominent, like Palas, who ruled in Bengal, that means West Bengal, Jharkhand, and Bihar region. The Rajputas ruled in Maharashtra, the Deccan region. Cholas ruled in the south. Then Mahmud Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori came from northwestern countries like Afghanistan. Then there were Pallavas, Pandyas, Cholas ruling over India. Then Rajputs, who were the descendants of Central Asian tribes. There was once a Central Asian tribe, Han tribe. Its members became very, very powerful. They were very, very brave. They were a Kshatriya clan and they became rulers. So a tribe transformed into rulers. Now, certain Rajputs called themselves Suryavanshi. That means they belong to the sun family, while others said that they were Chandravanshi, belonging to the moon family. Now, there were four Rajput clans who considered themselves as a part of Agnikul. That means they believed that they originated or their ancestors originated out of a holy sacrificial fire. So these four clans were Pratiharas, Chauhans, also known as Chahamans, Solankis, and Paramars, also known as Pawars. So the four clans which claimed to originate from fire, that means they claimed to be from Agni Kul, were the Pratiharas, the Chauhans or the Chahamans, the Solankis, and the Pawars. Then there were Tomars, Gadwals, Chandelas, and they all together constituted Rajputs, but the Rajputs were not united, and this only led to the downfall of Rajputs. There were Tomars who were ruling over Delhi. They founded this city. Then later on, Prithviraj Chauhan started ruling over Delhi. Then the Chauhans, I told you that they ruled over Delhi and Ajmer. Prithviraj Chauhan was the greatest ruler. Chand Bardai wrote Raso, in which he described about Prithviraj Chauhan. Then the Solankis of Gujarat. They were also known as Chalukyas of Gujarat. Siddharaj was the most powerful Solanki ruler. They ruled over Gujarat and Anilwada, and they got this famous Dilwara temple at Mount Abu built and Sun temple at Modhera, Gujarat built. So Solankis, actually they were from Agnikul. So they got this famous Dilwara temple at Mount Abu built and the Sun temple at Modhera. Then the Paramars, they ruled over Malwa region. Their capital was Dhar. Bhoja Paramar was the greatest ruler and they got the Neelkanteshwar temple at Udaipur built. Then the Gadwals. Jayachandra was the king of Gadwal. The Gadwal rulers ruled over Kannauj. Jayachandra's daughter Sanjogita fell in love with Prithviraj Chauhan and they eloped. Jayachandra helped Muhammad Ghori in defeating Prithviraj Chauhan, and later on Muhammad Ghori defeated Jayachandra also. So see, the rulers were not united and this was the reason of the downfall. Then there were Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Kirtivarman was the most important ruler. Khajuraho was their capital, and Khajuraho consists of such beautiful temples which were built during the reign of the Chandelas. There were Gurjara Pratihara. They ruled over Gujarat, Rajasthan, Nagabhatta was the most powerful ruler. Vatsraj and Bhoj were also important rulers. Uh, Kannauj was the capital of Gurjara Pratihara. Raja Bhoj introduced silver coins which had the mark of Varaha. That means an incarnation of Vishnu. And he himself was called Adi Varaha, and Raja Bhoj's son was Mahendra Pal. Al Masudi, he came to India and he wrote about the Pratihara rulers that they had, that they gave lot of respect. They patronized learning and literature. There is also an inscription in Karnal, Haryana, where it is written in the inscription that the Pratiharas used to import the horses from Central Asia and Arabia. Then finally, Gurjara Pratihara was defeated by Mahmud of Ghazni. If I talk of Pala dynasty, Pala was founded by Gopala. Actually, Gopala was a very wise person and he was an elected king. People wanted him to become the king. And when he came into power, Gopala, his dynasty, came to be known as Pala dynasty. Then Dharampal and Devpal were other important rulers. The Pala dynasty faced problems from the Pratiharas and the Rajputas. Uh, See, Palas, Rajputas, Pratiharas, everybody wanted to capture Kannauj, right? So they all were always fighting. Nevertheless, Pala dynasty was able to rule Bengal region, Assam, Odisha, Nepal even, and the famous Vikramshila University of Bihar was founded by Dharampal. And the Palas, though they were facing tough competition from Rajputas, they were threatened by Rajputas, Pratiharas. They were finally defeated by the Sena dynasty, and the Sena dynasty was defeated by the Delhi Sultanate. Then Rajputas ruled over the Deccan area, that means Maharashtra and the other regions. Danti Durga or Danti Varman was the founder of Rajputa kingdom, and they were great warriors. Their dynasty ruled for over 200 years. They got the famous Kailash temple built. They encouraged people of all religion to practice their faith, and they were great patrons of art, literature. They got this famous Ellora caves built. Then, as I discussed, that Gurjara Pratihara, Rajputas, Palas, they all wanted to capture Kannauj and they all were fighting to capture Kannauj. And since all were fighting to capture Kannauj, they made themselves weak, and this is known as tripartite struggle. They all wanted to capture Kannauj. However, none could rule over Kannauj for a longer period of time, and rather they weakened themselves. As I discussed, Pala dynasty was overthrown by the Sena dynasty, and the Sena dynasty was later on overthrown by the Delhi Sultanate. Rajputas were overthrown by the later Chalukyas. The Pratiharas were overthrown by Mahmud of Ghazni. So they weakened themselves. Who was Mahmud of Ghazni? Mahmud of Ghazni was from Afghanistan, and he had heard about the wealth of India. So he came to India and he plundered India a number of times. He plundered India approximately 17 times, and he raided the Somnath temple in Kathiawar. Then uh, he raided various other temples, and he took away the wealth to Ghazni, his capital. And he came with a scholar called Al Biruni, who wrote about the wealth of India in his book Kitab-i Hind. Muhammad Ghori was a minister of Mahmud of Ghazni, but after his death, he asserted his independence and became the ruler of Ghor. And then he attacked and conquered Multan, but then he was defeated by the rulers of Gujarat. So Muhammad Ghori started ruling in Punjab, and he wanted to capture Delhi, Ganga Valley, and Prithviraj Chauhan also ascended the throne of Ajmer at the same time. Prithviraj Chauhan was a brave warrior who defeated the Chandelas and occupied Delhi. But the ruler of Gujarat defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. So see, rulers of Gujarat defeated both Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori. Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori both wanted to capture Punjab and the Ganga Valley, and as a result, there was first Battle of Tarain, where Prithviraj Chauhan was victorious. However, in the second Battle of Tarain, through treachery, Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan and he killed him. Raja Jayachandra helped Muhammad Ghori to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan, as I discussed, and then later on, Raja Jayachandra was defeated in the Battle of Chandwar. Muhammad Ghori did not stay in India for long. Rather, he left India in the hands of Qutbuddin Aibak and Bakhtiyar Khalji. And Qutbuddin Aibak started with the slave dynasty, that is Delhi Sultanate. And Muhammad Ghori was assassinated and killed. And of course, he is the founder of the Turkish rule in India, because Mahmud of Ghazni never wanted to establish his rule in India. He just wanted to plunder India. Muhammad Ghori tried to establish his rule in India, but then later on he left the kingdom in the hands of Qutbuddin Aibak. Now, if I talk of Chola dynasty, the Chola dynasty was founded by Vijayala. Uh, he got the temples built at Thanjavur. He also got the temple of Nisham Basudini built. And the greatest Chola ruler was, though it was founded by Vijayala, the greatest ruler was Raja Raja Chola, who ruled up till Sri Lanka, Maldives. He was also known as Raja Raja I. He defeated the Cheras of Tiruvananthapuram. It was difficult to defeat the Cheras of Tiruvananthapuram, but then he was able to defeat the Cheras of Tiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Then he had control over the Malabar coast. He defeated the Pandyas of Madurai, and he controlled the Chola Mandalam coast. So see, he had the control over the Malabar coast, Chola Mandalam coast. He defeated the Cheras of Thiruvananthapuram, Pandyas of Madurai, and of course, South India is known for resources, beauty, spices, and everything. And he had the best navy. He also occupied Sri Lanka and Maldives, and he got famous temples. He got the temple of Brihadeshwar in Thanjavur built. Thanjavur is in Tamil Nadu, and he got various temples in Gangai, Konda, Cholapuram, and Thanjavur built. So Brihadeshwar temple is a very important temple, and their Carnatic music was sung. Then Bharatnatyam was performed uh, in in the temple courtyards. There were also dispensaries, and so in the walls of the on the walls of the temples, the names of the medicines are written, because the temples also had the dispensaries and the hospitals running, and in the temples they discussed their local issues. Music was played there, Bharatnatyam was performed, and there were also dispensaries, and so the names of the medicines are engraved on the walls of the temples. And Tamil, Telugu, Kannada all developed during this period. They used copper plates for writing, for inscriptions, for writing about the events, conquests. On the walls of the temples, the names of the medicines were written, and about the kings, it has been mentioned. And the temples were really rich, and the temples helped in the development of agriculture, irrigation facilities. And then a bronze statue of Natraj has been found. Now, bronze, that means they used the metal bronze, and the statue um, of Natraj, that means Lord Shiva, has been found. That means they were devotees of Shiva. Now, Chola Empire was divided into provinces called mandalams. So the biggest unit was mandalam, and mandalams were further divided into districts, or valandus or valanadus. Now, valanadus were districts, Groups of villages were called nadus, and they were governors from the royal family. The administration of these mandalams, valanados, nados, the empire was divided into provinces called mandalams. Mandalams were looked after by the governors who were from the royal families. The mandalams were further divided into valanadus or districts, and the group of villages were called nadus. So districts were called valanadus, and the group of villages were called nadus. The towns were known as nagarams, and the last town was known as Tanur. The governors were of royal families. There were assemblies to look after the administration. Irrigation facility was well developed. The branches of Kaveri river were divided into small channels so that water could be supplied to the fields. Artificial method of means artificial method of water collection was used. Rainwater was collected, tanks were built, dams were built, and the Chola temples were very rich, and they took the initiative to invest in agriculture. So the Chola reign was known for prosperity. Raja Raja Chola was one of the greatest rulers. Bronze metal was used. Statue of Nataraj has been found. Music, art, dance forms, languages, everything developed during this period. And it was well administered. There were mandalams, there were valanadus, nadus. The towns were called nagarams. The last town was called Tanur. And with this, I wind up the session and I request all of you to revise well. Thank you and have a great day ahead.